Full
Barbershop
circle, isn't it?
is back.
Yeah, it's back in the building, man. We ready
Glad
to
to
go.
have it, G. And we are also glad to have former Super Bowl winning quarterback Shaun King joining the show. How's it been, Shaun? Been a while, and I know you're not too high on this rookie quarterback class.
Come
We're gonna
on,
dive into
man.
some of that stuff today.
I am not, but I got my general manager look, president of basketball operations. So I've got to pat myself on the back. My arms are long enough to do it. I said to Cavs had no shot to win an NBA title if Garland was your second scorer. Low, below the radar trade because of the magnitude of some of the other moves, but DeAndre Hunter is a proven basket getter. That evens the playing field in a lot of ways, in my opinion.
I agree. You love it. On a 1 to 10, what do you give it?
Easy 8.5.
Ooh, wow. We were higher on it
Especially
than that.
considering the opposition. You got to have multiple guys can score when you're looking at Boston and the Knicks and the teams you're going to play. If Philly, if they're healthy, as you get into the playoffs. So I like adding Hunter. He's their second best scorer now. They needed that.
Wow. All
So
right.
man, all right. So let me ask you this question: why is it like I've seen Arch Manning play 3-4 times? He got his little work in. Why is Arch Manning worth being garbage this year to see if you win a sweepstake next year? Like I don't know because here's the thing: I keep hearing this class ain't it. Next year is better. We'll wait till next year. I don't like waiting on nothing. Like my mom used to tell me, hey man, if you do good in grades from 9 weeks from now, I'll give you a PlayStation. Bro, I don't know what I'm going to be in 9 weeks. I can't wait that long, man. How I'm going to wait weeks and weeks and weeks and months for this quarterback? Is he that lit?
I don't think anybody that has a expert opinion on Arch Manning has any idea. He has not played enough college football to have a fair evaluation on him. So I think we're going to find out. He has a box office name. He has a championship Hall of Fame pedigree. As to what he is as a quarterback, we don't know. I think this year will tell. I think the kid at BYU is really good. I will say this, and we'll just jump right into the Browns. I'm going into what you said. If Andrew Berry doesn't mess this up, Myles Garrett demanding a trade is the best news he could have gotten. And here's why. Historically, these caliber players, whether it be Khalil Mack, Jalen Ramsey, Laramie Tunsil, and Myles Garrett as a player is probably better than all of those guys, have demanded at minimum 2 first-round picks. So stay with me here because it's going to get confusing, but it's really simple. If you can move Myles Garrett for another one this year and another one next year, then trade out of the number 2 spot for somebody that's going to overdraft one of these quarterbacks, you could really, in one offseason with a couple smart free agent moves, re-energize and reshape the future of the Cleveland Browns. And I say that because here's my evaluation on this year's draft class. At his best, Cam Ward has some things that you like. Same with Deion Sanders, same with Jackson Dart, hell, same with Kyle McCord from Syracuse. But all of them have major deficiencies and warts. In my opinion, this is what this quarterback class is. If I had a pick in the mid to late 20s, and let's say Derek Carr was my quarterback in New Orleans, that's where I would feel comfortable taking Cam Ward, who I do have rated 1 out of the group. I don't think any of them are worth high-end first-round picks, and I would really be uncomfortable drafting any of them late first round if the expectation was they would be the day 1 starter.
Wow.
Okay.
So I just added the Browns multiple first-round picks this year and next year, got them out of overdrafting a quarterback, and set them up to be in a position to completely reshape the roster of that organization in 1.5 off seasons.
But for the people that will say this, Shaun, if you're looking at it and you, Kevin Stefanski, you, Andrew Berry, you got to win football games this year, don't you? And I'm not saying the quickest way to win football games is to get a quarterback, which is true. But say, for instance, you are correct. Those guys are more late to first round picks, second round good guys like that. Wouldn't a quarterback save your job quicker than a defensive tackle or a corner or something like that. When you're under pressure to deliver, especially when you already got Deshaun Watson on the roster, and you need some sort of splash because Myles Garrett is getting traded.
So, Bush, we're watching the same movie. I'm going to just show you a different part of the screen to focus on. Insanity means what? Doing the same thing over and over, right?
Expecting the
How
same
many
results.
times have organizations had a deficiency at quarterback and overdrafted a quarterback in that draft because they had a need? When you do that and you don't select the right player, you still have that need moving forward. Look at the Tennessee Titans. They took the Willis kid from Liberty. They took the Willis kid first from Liberty.
Yeah.
Then they took Will Levis, and now here they sit and still need a quarterback. Look at Pittsburgh. They overdrafted Kenny Pickett in the first round a couple years ago. Now they still need a quarterback. So taking one doesn't fill the void. And so if the Browns want to take the next step to becoming an elite organization, then Andrew Berry, Kevin Stefanski, and ownership need to sit down and say, your job security is not based on wins and losses. It's about getting us headed in the right direction long term.
Shaun, I ask you about a quarterback. I don't think we've mentioned his name one time on this show. Had a pretty good Senior Bowl week. What do you think of Dylan Gabriel?
I think he's a really good college quarterback.
But not going to translate to the NFL?
I don't, because I think his skill set only fits one specific type of offense. And that's going to be like that Art Browse Baylor system, where he can throw a lot of screens, where a lot of it, is kind of zone read, up-tempo, fast-paced stuff, and not a whole lot of NFL teams run that. So I just don't think he's a guy that fits in a lot of the current NFL systems.
Is it a big deal to be left-handed?
Really, it's up to the coordinator. You would find that some coordinators are very uncomfortable having to flop over their play calls for a left-handed quarterback. I've
it
worked with some
reverses everything,
guys
doesn't it?
It does. And the really good guys, it doesn't matter. They never pass up an elite talent because he's left-handed. But for, I would say, probably 65, 70% of the sitting coordinators in the National Football League, they would openly tell you, if not completely against it, they'd be uncomfortable with it.
Interesting. You mentioned the kid from BYU.
Yes, he's really good.
Okay.
Next year's draft class,
he was a JUCO kid, wasn't he?
I think so.
So
I haven't done the full deep dive on all of them. I'm just going based on like my surface evaluations. I've been trying to give the Cal McCords and the Justin Mill and the Milrose and the Howard from Ohio. I've been trying to get those guys just due by trying to make sure I watch at least 6, 7 full games of all of them.
If there isn't one at the top, and you don't seem to think there is, that's a difference maker, then do you focus on the second tier guys that would still be there when you come around in the second round? And if that's what you're doing, who is jumping out at you there?
So let me first of all say this before I answer your question, Jay. The Browns, in my opinion, their first 22 guys off the bench, the starting 11 on offense, the starting 11 on defense, aren't talented enough overall to bypass an elite player. So that would be my approach. We're not good enough to bypass elite players. So I'm not going to leave Abdul Carter on the board to overdraft the quarterback. When it comes to our second round selection, let's just say that Amarian Hampton from North Carolina falls to us. I'm not going to bypass what I think is an elite talent to take a developmental quarterback.
Right.
So let me just say that. I do think Jackson Dart fits the narrative, but I think he'll be overdrafted. I don't think he'll be there in the second round. I think if you have a chance of developing, Cal McCord does a lot of good things.
Wow.
The kid from Syracuse that was at Ohio State.
Yeah. But do you like him more than you like Will Howard?
Yes. I think McCord's ceiling is Howard. Yeah, I think Howard is kind of what he is. Like, here's what you got to understand about Ohio State. And this is why I can't believe the Raiders hired Chip Kelly. They had the best college football team money has ever bought.
Yep, fact.
There's 50 OCs you could have put on that team, 25 quarterbacks you could have put on that team, and they'd have won the national title.
I agree. They were stacked everywhere. They had two of the best running backs, two of the best wide receivers.
Yeah, that was crazy.
It was insane. A line that's going to produce first-round draft talent in the NFL. So
Watch how smart Chip Kelly. Watch how smart Chip Kelly is, Jake. He failed in Philadelphia with the Eagles. Went to San Francisco, got fired after 1 year with the Niners. Went to UCLA and couldn't get that thing rocking and rolling. Waited till his homeboy Ryan Day spent $14 million on the best talent. Said, I'm going to step down as the head coach of UCLA to go over here where the deck is loaded in my favor. And it's not like Ohio State's offense was creative. It just was super talented. And he parlayed that into becoming the highest paid coordinator in NFL history. Chip Kelly hadn't been creative since Oregon. Man, you gotta
He's playing
America,
chess,
man.
brother.
Hey, Shaun,
Because he
man.
never would have made that from UCLA.
Absolutely not.
He's never
He
going
was
from
outta here.
UCLA to Raiders OC.
That is a great point.
Hey,
That is a great point.
Shaun, so this is the most. I think this guy is the most polarizing guy in the draft. I think he's spectacular, but a lot of people got their opinion on it. We've talked about Abdul Carter. I think he's a slam dunk. I love his tape. Let's talk about Travis Hunter. I think a lot of people shy away from Travis Hunter because we have this thing where it's like, well, what is he? We as humans, we want to know what you are. How we like categories, and Travis Hunter kind of don't fit into none of those categories. A nice little, neat box. What are your thoughts on Travis Hunter? Offense, defense. Do you think he's a generational player? And with the Browns, would you draft him and think potentially about drafting him if you didn't like the quarterback?
Here's Travis Hunter. To answer your question, he is 100% the best player in this draft. He's
Wow.
a generational talent. I would let him play both ways until he proves that he can't. Here is my hesitancy with Travis Hunter for a bad team. No matter how good he is as a receiver, if I got Will Levis throwing him the ball, he can't really impact wins. No matter how good he is as a cornerback, if we can't stop the run, we can't rush the quarterback, does he impact us winning and losing? It's kind of like he's the best player, but he plays a position that, at least offensively, is dependent on the quarterback and play caller, and defensively is kind of, we need some other things around him for him to truly be great. So it's going to be an interesting question, but he is the best player.
What about
Did that make
Jalen?
sense how I said it?
No, it does. Yeah, he just might not be a fit for the Browns because they're not one great player away.
Right. Like
Makes
if you
perfect
trade
sense.
Myles Garrett, which they should do, but select Travis Hunter, and now you can't get to the quarterback, at least in the short term next year. Because I do think trading Garrett is the right thing.
I think
what
so, too.
effect is Travis going to happen?
Shaun, I think if they trade Myles Garrett and don't take Abdul Carter, that might be something they regret for a decade.
Well, it's a good defensive end draft.
I know
don't
it
have
is,
the names in front of
but he's the cream
kid
of that
from Marshall.
crop.
Yeah, the kid from Marshall is really good. The kid from
Tennessee.
A&M is good. The kid from Tennessee, Pierce, this is a good defensive end draft. This is an elite running back draft.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm saying it now, I think Ashton Genty falls to late first round, and I think he's the first running back taken. That's how good I think this running back class is.
He's a monster.
You know what hurt him was his bowl game, or I'm sorry, his playoff game.
Now, I just think because the kid Caleb Johnson in Iowa, the kid Amarian Hampton from
North Carolina.
the kid from Tennessee, there's a legit 5'6" running backs that I wouldn't be surprised if they were day one starters in the NFL next year and push 900 plus yards rushing as rookies. This class is that good.
Well, the Browns need one of those.
Yeah, they'll take one.
Maybe two.
Absolutely get one.
What about Jalen Milroe? That's a name that comes up in Cleveland quite a bit.
So a less polished Justin Fields.
Oh,
Oh my God,
that's not a compliment.
I don't think he meant it.
The truth doesn't have emotions, and I'm a person that thinks Justin in the right situation can help you win games. Milroe's a less polished Justin Fields. Probably he's bigger, not probably. He's a little bigger and Justin's a big guy. Milroe's a little bigger. He's probably a tad faster, but don't forget how fast Fields was coming out of Ohio State. Like, he could really go, but I wouldn't take Milroe unless I was the Baltimore Ravens and I was trying to do a wildcat package and take Lamar off the field, or if I was the Bills and Josh Allen, like I want to take some of those hits off of the quarterback and still be able to run the same stuff. To me, that's where I think Milroe has his best chance for success.
All right, there's a guy who last year we talked about being #1 overall pick or in the top 5. What is your thoughts on Quinn Ewers? Is he like the upgraded Colt McCoy? What is Quinn Ewers? Is he a good quarterback, college quarterback, or what is it? System? Like I don't think
He's undraftable.
What?
Wow.
Oh my God!
He's
Listen,
undraftable.
hey, somebody clip that. Hey, listen, I don't know if you got to put that in. You got to expound on undraftable. Like, come on.
Undraftable.
All right, go ahead.
Like, when you break down quarterback skill set, give me one skill Quinn Ewers has that's above average outside of just experience. He's played a lot of football. He has below average arm talent. He's a below average athlete. He has below average height. He has below average frame.
Damn.
So he's not even Colt McCoy then.
No, not at all.
Damn.
Colt has better arm talent than him.
Wow. Quinn.
Well, you know what? That's one of the things we most love about you. You don't sugarcoat it.
Wow, Quinn, clip that.
And that's a strong take.
To Longhorn Nation, I think Sarkisian's loyalty to Quinn cost him a national title.
Yeah, you're
they
not
were the
alone
one
in that
team from a
thinking.
talent standpoint that could match up with Ohio State. But you was out there throwing them lollipop balls, man. Get out of here.
Hey, real quick, I know we got to roll. Who have you studied
Candy shop.
You mentioned the BYU kid. Have you studied the kids in the
candy
26
shop.
draft? Who do you like out of that right now? I know it's early.
So I'm still getting to that, and maybe that's a little something. Give me a month, because I'm still trying to attach names to talent for some of these guys. You got to remember, guys move so much now in college football.
Yeah.
Like, it's a process to keep up and track.
Yeah.
All these position players. So I'm kind of rewatching Senior Bowl and Shrine Game film right now, kind of seeing who pops, going back, rewatching some games. But I do think the kid, I think his name is Metzloff off the top of my head.
It is,
if I'm not
yeah.
mistaken.
The kid at BYU.
I think he has a chance to be really good. Well, of course, all eyes are going to be on Arch Manning.
Yeah.
I'm sure some kids will pop up other places, but
The Georgia
I just
kid,
don't-
Nussman at LSU,
Nussmeier,
Drew
yeah.
Aller.
yeah. Drew Aller's a taller version of Quinn Ewers.
Yeah, I've heard, but listen, he's not alone in that opinion. I've
have
heard a
not
lot
been
of guys
impressed.
that say
I have
he
not
is
been
not going to be
impressed.
the guy at Penn State, and he is not
Yeah.
going to translate to the next level.
Yeah.
Sean, we appreciate you as always. Me and Sean are going to do some quarterback breakdown.
Love
for the
your honesty,
WKYC
brother.
Plus app coming up shortly, so make sure y'all tune in for that with some film. Sean, you're the
Hey,
best.
hold
We'll see you
on,
soon, man.
hold on.
Wait a minute.
This is the fallout of the NBA. This the week of the Super Bowl, and we ain't asked one Super Bowl question.
Man, he's
The
right.
NBA
Who's your pick?
The
Sean,
NBA
we got a guest
the
on Radio
NBA
Row coming in right when we let you go.
Who's your
We're
pick?
literally going to Radio Row.
Just tell us who's going to win.
I don't know. I'm taking Pacheco over 21 rush yards and an anytime touchdown. Bye, y'all.
We
Sean's the best. Later, Sean.